Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Night is Short, Walk On Go by Tomihiko Morimi. So for each month I was thinking of doing a book of the month kind of thing, which is a book that I've just really enjoyed in any given month, and then at the end I just say what my favourite book is and then give it a little review. So my favourite book of January was The Night is Young. No, what was it called? The Night is Short, Walk On Girl. Don't know why I said young, but whatever. So this book came out in 2019, I believe, and it is by, like I've already said, Tomihiko Morimi, and translated, why is it I struggle with the American name? Emily Balistreri. Yeah, and I really enjoyed this book. The thing is with this book, if you've seen the film, there's been a film adaptation, how on earth do you describe what this book or this film is about? Because I have heckin' no idea. So why am I reviewing it, you may ask? Don't ask me. On the surface level, what this book is about two characters, and they're both students. It's about a girl, we don't know their name, and it's about a boy, we also don't know their name. And they're just navigating, why do I keep on doing this? Help me. They're just navigating through their lives, man, and it starts out pretty ordinary, but lots of extraordinary things happen. The boy fancies the girl, so he's constantly stalking her and trying to get her attention. It's not in a weird way, I guess, it's just kind of coincidental, more coincidental than weird stalkery. But we kind of feel sorry for him because she's just, you know, hecking off, doing her own thing, and she doesn't even know this boy is obsessed with her. Well, she does later on. And in terms of time span, there are only really kind of 4 days that this book covers, if that makes sense. How many times am I going to say if that makes sense? I don't heckin' know. So the 3 main days I remember is the first day, which is when the characters go out on a night out basically. A book fair, which is I think one of my favourite bits. Actually no, I think my favourite bit is the last kind of scene, which is at university. And it's kind of dark and mysterious and lots of strange things are happening. So yeah, I think that's my most enjoyable bit. I need to stop slouching. I'm heckin' sorry, alright? But yeah, the main thing that this book portrays that I enjoy is the magical aspect, the whimsical aspect, the fantastical aspect. This book is incredibly atmospheric and weird. But in a good way, a good weird that I really enjoyed, that is completely unique. I think in terms of Japanese fantasy as such, there are quite a lot of themes that cross over. For example, very strange magical things happen in these books that I class as Japanese fantasy. But every single one I've read is so individualistic. Well, that's a long word. I'm not going to be able to spell that in the captions. And that's what I absolutely loved about this book. It was the atmosphere, it was the mood, it was the settings, in that they're ordinary places, but the author has made them extraordinary. Extraordinary, you could say. So if you like books like Before the Coffee Gets Cold, for example, Before the Coffee Gets Cold is in a normal setting, but something extraordinary happens in that book. It kind of reminds me also a bit of The Starless Sea. They're two quite different books, but it's just the feeling I get when I read them. I'm like, wow, this is something I could never have even dreamt of, and my dreams are pretty heckin' weird, so yeah, it was brilliant. Another thing I really enjoyed about this book is the characters, and in a lot of books I've read, the characters are just boring, they're plain, they're not well developed, but in this book, all the characters have their own style, they have their own personalities, they're all very different, which I absolutely love, and there are so many distinguishable characteristics about them that makes them really enjoyable to read about. For example, I can't remember any names, which is kind of, I guess, useful because the 2 main characters, their names aren't mentioned, but there are, you know, other characters we've named. One of them, he can just heckin' fly around, you know, don't know why, don't want to know why, and his personality is just so endearing, he's just so funny and like full of life. And then his wife is just kind of, I wouldn't say opposite, but she's just kind of asleep all the time and like getting drunk and just kind of falling asleep on tables whilst he's like being the showman, kind of flying around the place. And like, this is such a good time. It's just so funny, but also it is, you do still have that tragic aspect in terms of the boy. I'm losing my voice. In terms of the boy, always trying to get hold of the girl, not physically, but you know what I mean, trying to find her and trying to portray his love for her, and it's just brilliant, and I can love it. I mean, you can tell it's going to be a good book just from the cover, in my own opinion. Another thing that always comes up is the Adama doll. I think that's how you, I think that's what it's called, the Dharma doll. So what this is in Japanese culture is like a something you kind of wish for. So no, that doesn't make sense. Let me start from the beginning. You get these dolls and they don't have their eyes filled in. So what you would do is you'd wish for something and draw on the first eye, and then when your wish comes true, you draw on the second eye. Now these dolls come up very frequently in the book, but I don't remember any characters actually wishing for anything and then filling in the eyes, but maybe it's kind of symbolic of the boy wishing that this girl would pay attention to him, and then the wish comes true. Oh no, I spoiled it. It doesn't come true. Oh dear. I have to preface a heckin' spoiler as well now. It's so hard to describe this book. I'm trying, I'm sorry. The one thing I didn't like is because the two main characters don't have names, it's really difficult to know sometimes, for me, because I'm quite stupid, which of them is talking. So I found that a bit difficult because it doesn't tell you. There's not like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It's just like little dots, and sometimes it'll be the same character continuing on, sometimes it wouldn't be, and I'd be like, what's going on please? I don't know. But 5 stars, my only 5 stars of January, absolutely loved it. Would recommend. So there you go, that's my book of the month. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, then thanks. Good, cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!